Okay, friends, we're continuing Pirkei Avos. We're learning Perek Beis, Mishna Yud. We just learned that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 primary disciples, and he praised each one. They were Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus, and Rabbi Yehoshua, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach. He said about Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus, he is a lime pit that doesn't lose a drop. Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, fortunate is he who bore him. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen was righteous. Rabbi Shimon and Nesanel was Yirei Chet. Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach was Kamayin HaMeskaber. Each one of them chose a different path of what one should cling to acquire all good personality traits. Now we're going to learn the teachings of all of these 5 students. Heim Amru Shloisha Dvarim. They each said 3 things. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus said, Yehi chavoid chavercha chaviv alecha kishalach. The honor of your friend should be dear to you like your own honor. Number 2, va'al tehi noyach lichais. Do not be easy to get angry. And number 3, v'shuv yoim echad lefnei misasach. Repent one day before you die. So in Avos Rabbi Glatstein, it asks, it's not like you could get an app on your phone that, will send you reminders a day before you die to be able to repent. What is it? What exactly does it mean? Repent the day before you die. Most people, they're not given, they don't get a letter in the mail when that's going to be. So that's what Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach, that's what Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus said. Basically, repent daily because you never know. Let's see Rabbeinu Yona. Heimamru shloisha dvarim. They said 3 things. Perush, Talmidei Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the students of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, they said 3 things. V'loi shloisha dvarim belvad amru. They didn't only say 3 things. Ki kama v'kama dvarim amru. They said many things. Ela roitz loymar, what they meant was as follows. Shahayu regilin kol echad loymar shloisha dvarim b'chol yom. They were accustomed to saying 3 things every day. Ke'inyan sha'amru, like the Gemara that tells us, Margalisa bepume de Rav b'dvar matzrichim tamid. It was frequent in the mount of Rav in matters that were needed always. So each one of these students had 3 things. They said many things, but these 3 things they said daily. Number 1, Yichvod chavercha chavalach yishalach. Hilchos derech eretz shanukan. It's teaching us here the laws of derech eretz. L'chazer acher kvoid chaveroi, to make efforts about the honor of your friend. V'yachboitz ki yichabduhu kasher yachboitz b'chvoid atzmai. You should want your friend to be honored just like you want to be honored. V'umidar chamosar. Meaning a person should have a desire that their friend be honored. The same way you want to be honored, you should want that your friend be honored. It shouldn't be easy to get you angry. Yadu'it is known ki midas hakas hira ad ma'od. The midah of anger is very bad. Ach teva b'nei adam lias nimshach achrav. It is human nature to be drawn after it. Al kein amru. Therefore, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus said, Achar sheyesh lecha lichos lefamim. Even though sometimes you got to be angry, al karchacha tizar shaloi tianoyach lechais. At the very least, be careful that it shouldn't be easy to get you angry. Vim yachboitz ritzon ches hakas. If you need to get angry, tishko b'moiznei sichelcha imibnei hadar roy lechais. Think twice before you decide that this matter is worthy to get angry about. Vim timtza shum tana lahaser kas milibcha bat lehu. If you have any reason to remove the anger from your heart, then get it out of your heart. Ach al davar shroy lichasav al kapanim azia kascha imcha. But on something that is worthy to get angry, then the anger should be with you. In other words, it should not be easy to get angry. You can't be getting angry about everything. Before you choose to get angry about something, you have to think long and hard. is this really worth getting angry about? V'zeu she'amar Shlomo HaMelech HaVasham, al tivahel beruchacha lichais, do not hastily get angry, ki kas b'cheik kasilim yanuach. Anger resides in the lap of the fool. Right, so loymar, shelo yimaher lichais, do not get angry quickly, ki im b'hamtano v'tzarach gadol, only with patience and with a great need. In other words, don't be hasty to get angry. But if you're going to, it has to be after deliberation and really needed. Don't be like a fool who hastily gets angry. Because of the anger that resides in his heart. This is very interesting. This is a little different than you would have expected. You would have expected the Mishnah to say, never get angry. No, the Mishnah is not saying that. Sometimes you got to get angry. But don't be quick to get angry. You know why the fool is quick to get angry? Because anger lives in his house. What does that mean? A wise person doesn't have a roommate in his heart named anger. Anger doesn't reside in his heart. So if something happens, that somebody does something that, that has to be given attention to and has to be addressed, there might be times that call for a somewhat of a angry response. But don't be easy to get angry. The fool is easy to get angry. You know why? Because anger is a roommate that lives with the fool in the fool's heart at all times. And therefore, it's only all he needs is to be set off, and there it goes. Because he never deliberated, should I? It lives there. He can't rule over his spirit, even for something that doesn't require anger. Because this fool knows that even though it's going to cause ruination, his anger is going to cause ruination, he can't help himself. Like a snake, could you tell a snake, when you bite, do me a favor, don't put the poison, don't bite with the poison. Could you tell a snake, I know you have venom in you, try not to let the venom out. There's nothing the snake could do about it. Once he bites, the venom's coming out. The venom is in the fangs of the snake. If he can't bite without venom, so to the fool, he can't react without anger, because anger lives in his heart. So what a person needs to do is, he needs to terminate the lease. When you have, if you own an apartment, and you have a bad occupant, you have a bad, somebody who's been living in your apartment, doesn't pay rent, and you got to get him out. So you got to get him out. You got to eject him from the apartment. You got to eject anger from your personality. That doesn't mean that you're not going to use it ever. Doesn't mean you're not going to sometimes invite it back. But he can't be living in your personality. Just like a snake, when the snake bites, the venom will be there by itself. And the snake doesn't even have to send it out. It's just there. So too anger in the lap of the fool. L'sham nimsa, it is found there. Umei elav yotzei, and it comes out on its own. V'zehu ma she'amru chacham zechron levracha. This is what the rabbis of blessed memory have taught us. B'shloisha dvarim ha'adam nikar. A person is recognized in three ways. Number one, b'chaisai, when he drinks. Number two, b'kisai, when it comes to his pocket. And b'kasai, we could tell, is this something the person is using as a one-time or unusual means, or is he just allowing his regular tenant to come out? In other words, kas cannot be a tenant in your heart. And furthermore, v'shuv yoim echad lifnei misascha yashiv hayom, do repent today, shema yamas lamachar. Well, because we don't know the day of death, it will come out that you'll do tshuva your whole life. This is what it means. At all times, your garment should be white. These three things were frequent in the mouth of Eliezer ben Horkanus. These are things that need to be heard at all times. Now we're going to see he said another thing, and this thing, okay, let's finish the Mishnah, is not one of the three things that he would say daily. It was just a regular lesson that he taught, and that is vehevi mischamim keneged uran shel chachamim. Warm yourself opposite the fire of the sages. But vehevi zoher begachaltan shalei tikaveh. You got to be careful with their coals that you don't get burned. In other words, a Torah sage is a fire. You want to get close to it. You want to warm yourself, but you don't want to get burned. When the rabbi bites, he bites like a fox. Va'akitzasan, when he stings, akitzas akrav, he stings like a scorpion. Ulchishasan, and when he bites, when he hisses, l'chisha sarf, it's like a serpent. All of their words are like coals of fire. Says Rabbeinu Yona, they have a mischamim kineged uran shel chachamim, kineged uran, in proximity, v'loy karev, not too close. They have a zar migachaltam shalei tikaveh. Mashal l'mischamim kineged ar. The mashal is someone who is warmed by the fire. And mamad baracha karoilai, if he's far enough away, he'll enjoy and he won't be burnt. Vim karav yoisimidai, if he's too close, nimtza nichve, he'll get burnt. Kena mischamim keneged uran shel chachamim. Likewise, someone who is warmed by the fire of the sages, v'nena mechachmasam, and gets benefit from their wisdom, sarach lamoid lufneim, needs to stand before them, mitoich ema, out of fear, v'yira, and reverence, v'kavod roish, v'al yanhig kalas roish b'fneim. Don't be lightheaded. Meaning you want to be close to Tamil Chachamim, but you don't want to be chummy with them. You want to have a healthy respect, but not lightheaded. Don't make yourself closer than they have drawn you close. This type of attribute will ultimately lead you to be distanced and be punished. And it goes without saying, when the student is nichshal in sin, because they will bite like a snake, they will sting like a scorpion, and you'll think, well, if they're like a snake, maybe I could charm them. I'll charm the Rebbi. You'll play a flute, and you'll charm the rabbi. No. They bite like a snake. They'll hiss like a serpent. Don't argue with them and say, well, gam yeshli bi ruach chayim. I also have a brain, and I also have a svara, and I also have intelligence. SS svaras, come on, I'll also make logical arguments. Ein chachma biyadcha. Nah, you don't have wisdom. Ufen techta b'svarascha. You may be lacking in your svara. Ki divrayim b'chidur upilpul misibas chachmasam haserefes bekirbam. Their words are so sharp and seasoned because of their wisdom. In other words, the thinking process of the average person cannot be compared to the sound reasoning of the Chachmei Yisrael. One cannot think, he learns a little bit more, I learn a little bit less. No, the rigorous analysis of the amelus that the Chachmei Yisrael put in makes it that their analysis is like burning coals. Says Rabbeinu Yona, this is not one of the three teachings of Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus. He didn't teach this daily. It's enough to remind people occasionally to be careful with the honor of Tamei Chachamim. This was not something that need to be reminded daily like the first three, but that a person should always remember to desire the honor of their friend like their own honor and not to easily get angry, that anger should be a tenet in their personality. And to do tshuva daily, that these were ideas and teachings that needed to be reminded constantly every single day. Those were three teachings Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus taught daily about how to tread carefully with Tamei Chachamim. That was not necessary for him to teach daily. Okay, Rabbi Isai, have a beautiful Shabbos. Thanks for joining. Kol tov, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbos.